Why, hello there. What's up, Losh? You are first. Congrats. What's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Bigfoot. I'm glad you could join. Hey, Casey. Hello to you. What's up, Rude Noise? How are you doing? Bigfoot, where the hell did I put that chapstick? The better question is, why did you put that in the comments? Happy Lunar New Year's, guys. It is the year of the snake. Well, not yet. It'll be in 2 days. What does the year of the snake mean? I have no idea. Oh, we can look it up. Year of the snake. What's up, Sunnyside? Good afternoon. It doesn't mean anything. Year of the Slytherins. You put that in the comments because you wanted to? Good answer, sir. Right, hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Give me 1 second. Here it is. It's the year of Ouyang Feng. True. Oh no, the most terrible year. What's up, Nikki? How's it going? When the hell are us monkeys getting a year? You don't remember one? Alright, let's look at Year of the Snake first. Here we go. Year of the Snake. What does it mean? Year of the Snake. Here's what to know. Okay, tell me what to know. Here's what the snake symbolizes. Any snakes in the audience? Stop. How do I get... Stop. Okay, can't go there. How the year of the wood snake will affect your zodiac sign. Okay, let's go. Either Ouyang Feng was the year of the frog. I guess both. Look, the snake symbolizes complexity, mystery, initiation, and transformation. Uh-huh. Yeah, does it? The wood snake is seductive and creative and ruthless. And adds. Da-da-da-da. What is this? In shifting scales, shedding skin, and taking new forms, the snake reminds us that the medicine we seek is already inside of us. Okay. That's beautiful. Let's look up snake zodiac. Year of the monkey. Okay. Year of the monkey should be in 2028 next time. All right, watch out for that then. Don't forget. Snake zodiac. Okay. Snakes are intelligent with a tendency to lack scruples. Uh-huh. Fucking snakes. All right. I guess that's it. That's all we got. Anyways. What's up, AJ Shiro? You promise you won't forget? Oh, you promise you will forget? Okay. Sounds good. I expect you to keep that promise. Don't catch me catching you not forgetting. All right. Doop. Are you ready? Let's make this quick for New Year's. Ba-doom. Ba-doom. Uh, uh, SUTSTU. How about shut? Shut up. Shut. Shoot. Salute. Flute. Shuff. Like shuffle? Shuff? Shuffed? Is shuff a word? It doesn't sound like a word. No. Shift is a word. Is shuffed a word? Maybe we need to go like this. Oh. It is SH. U. Like shucked. That sounds like a word. Shuck. Shunt. Shunt is a word. Yes. How was that? I was like, that's got to be less than 2 minutes. Read you a bedtime story in a bit. Shuck is a word. Understood. All right, connections. Did I fail last week's connection? I believe I did. Olive typewriter. Extra sample bark bite. Axe scales twins oil shell virgin taste hedge maze. What? Skin and mouthful. A shell, a skin, scale, and bark, I think. Like the outer layer. Okay. Easy. Okay. Olive oil virgin. Virgin olive oil. I feel like that's a head fake, right? A taste, a mouthful, a sample, an extra. No, let's have a bite. Let's have a taste of it. Let's have a mouthful, a sample. Yes. Okay. Extra virgin olive oil? Come on. That can't be it, right? Twins, hedge maze, axe, and typewriter. What does that have to do with each other? Twins, hedge maze, axe, and typewriter. This is too tempting. Extra virgin olive oil. It fits so well. All right, let's do it. Don't trick me. Ah, what? Why? How? It looks like a head fake, but it's not. Oh, scene in The Shining. Okay. Yeah, I was never gonna guess that. Oh, Casey, she tricked you, didn't she? Extra virgin olive oil is definitely a red herring. Wait, what is the difference between virgin olive oil and extra virgin? I think extra virgin means like there's no. It's just pressed olive oil, right? Nothing else. Then what is virgin olive oil? Do they heat it up? All right, Samantha. Virgin, but a snob about it. Extra virgin is a first press. Oh, so is virgin a second press? Extra virgin olive oil. What? What? Canola. Hello. Avocado. What? Fruit? Huh? Apple? Vegetable? Uh, how was that? That was like less than a minute. What's up, Psyduck? How's it going? Ah, vegetable. So easy. Yeah. Yeah. This is a good Lunar New Year. That might be a record. No. You forget, Nikki. That was not a record. The record was when I guessed the exact word on the first try. Cannot be beaten. The power of extra virgins. All right. Today we have 4 snacks just to celebrate. First is a this. Wait, the upside down. Oh, first is this. It's hard to see, kind of. But it's like sugar candy. I've seen how they make these. But let's see how they taste. They just taste like sugar, I would expect. It says amber candies. Okay. 4 snacks is 4 times as likely to have a 0. We've never done a 0 before. I don't think we've had a 0. A 0 out of 10. I think a 0 out of 10 would be like poop. Or piss. Well, poop would be worse than piss. Poop is 0. I guess piss is 0.1. Ooh, it's like a flower. Kind of. If you can see. Okay. Okay. There's a crunchy, sugary shell on the outside. The inside is very super soft. It's like jelly inside. It's not bad. Let's see. There's a pink one. All right. Let's see if this one well, the camera focuses. Let's see if this one tastes different. Mmm. It does taste different. Kind of fruity. Right. But at the end of the day, it's just sugar. I'm gonna give it like about a 5.8. How about that? All right. Next we have this. It's kind of funny. Look, if you look at the packaging, like two octopuses, octopi, grabbing this thing. They're pulling it apart. I think we're supposed to pull this thing apart if you look here. Well, let's see. It's a fun snack, guys. You can interact with it. What is this? Huh? Oh, no octopus. Oh no. No octopus, but there's this thing. All right. It's gummy, kind of chewy. I guess you're supposed to pull it apart. All right. Oh, wait. Is this hold on. What is this? I think it's two crabs, I think. Two crabs, they're pulling on a starfish. So the two crabs, starfish in the middle, they're pulling. So I guess we're supposed to pull and see which one gets the starfish. What do you think? Left or right? Left or right? Who gets the starfish? Who's gonna win? Uh, 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 uh. Oh, right side wins. So left side gets eaten. Mmm. Tastes like fruit snacks. Just think of any of the fruit snacks you've ever eaten. Chewy. A snake year is not an auspicious year for gambling. Oh, why? Well, this is all right. But I've had fruit snacks before, and this is kind of similar. So, 6.2. Because you're wrong. Oh, Psyduck, you lied to me. All right. Next one is this. It's like a Pocky stick, but it's savory. It's like a shrimp kind of flavor, I think. Yeah. And it says, can you read? It says Garito, Garito, Porito, Garito, Porito. What does that mean? All right. Okay. Let's see. Oh. It's like a shrimp tomato soup kind of flavor. Tomato? I think so. Good. Not bad. Not bad for a savory pocky stick type of thing. I've had pizza flavor before. I think that was really good. All right. Oh, it's like a straight snake. It's a snake that's just lying really straight. I think I also taste some herbs in there. No. Hold on. Yeah. Pretty good. I like savory snakes. Savory snakes. I like savory snacks. More than sweet snacks in general. So I'm gonna give this a 7.2. 7.2. Okay. And last but not least, you guys might like this one. It says cream colon. Cream colon. I'm gonna be eating a colon full of cream. Take from that what you will. It kind of even looks like it's kind of look like it, no? Doesn't it? It's like a colon that's been cut. Anyways. This is the zero you warned us about? Don't know. What if it's really good? What if I turn out to really like creamed colon? I would be in big trouble. Bad news for me. Can't be worse than banana. True. Alright, what does this look like? Casey, you are dirty. Dirty, dirty. I will not repeat that. Alright, hold on. Having trouble with this colon. Oh. Okay, smaller than I expected. Unstretched. Has a cream inside, see? No! Pretty good. Hey. Has like a lemony flavor. Oh! Or yuzu, I think. Yeah. Has a nice, like, soft crunch to it. Mmm. The cream inside is pretty good. Yeah. Like a citrusy flavor. I love it. Not the color you expected. This is actually pretty good. I think this rises to the level of an 8. Maybe even an 8.1. How about that? You can't stop? I can't. Didn't know I had an appetite for colons. The only PG colon. Why would you name your freaking snack cream colon? Why? Is it pronounced another way? Colon? All right. The real test is how it comes out. 8.1. That I am an official fan. Yeah, I would like more colons, please. They have chocolate cream colon. Oh no. I bet they do. Not organ colored. Imagine if I had a cream colon sponsorship. Oh. All right. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready? Let's see. What happened last week in our story? I'm the perfect person to voice that sponsorship. Oh, I'd make so many scenarios. So many stories. It'd be awesome. So many puns. Okay. What happened last week? Last week, our little group of heroes, Guo Jing, Hong Rong, Zhou Botong, and Hong Qigong, they reached land on their boat, right? Hong Qigong, he's injured, and he says he doesn't have long to live, and his final wish is to eat this dish called the Mandarin Duck 5 Delicacies Salad, okay? And it's made by Imperial Chefs. Apparently, it's really good. And he would like to have it before he dies. So the group agrees to go to the Imperial Palace and sneak in, right? Now, on the way to the Imperial Palace, they reach this ruined tavern in a desolate village, and they find this girl there who calls herself Sha Gu, or Silly Girl. And she doesn't act normal. She's not normal. She acts kind of weird. Hong Rong gets into a little fight with her, and finds out that she knows some martial arts, and she actually knows some martial arts from the Peach Blossom Island. So yeah, because she's familiar with those martial arts. They investigate some more, and they find a bunch of treasures and two corpses. Okay, one corpse turns out to be a disciple of Hong Rong's father. The other is an imperial officer. So there's some history there. But since Hong Qigong is not doing well, they decide that they should continue on their way to the palace, and they leave the silly girl there. It seems to be a place that we need some more investigation, though. I'm sure it'll pop back in the story at some point. At one point, Hong Rong and Guo Jing, they're on a nice little stroll, and they see three people. They see Wen Yan Hong Lia, they see Ouyang Feng, and Yang Kang. And this is how Guo Jing finds out that freaking Yang Kang has returned to his adoptive father, okay? The killer of his biological father. They overhear the villains discussing their goal of finding UFA's military manual. They lose track of the villains for a bit, but by sheer luck, they're sitting at this famous restaurant, and they just happen to be sitting in a booth right next to Wen Yan Honglia and Yang Kang. So they can hear what the two are saying. And that's where we left off. How's that? Colon for me? It's one name that I would not want. All right. That's my OnlyFans handle. All right. You ready? Chapter 23, Part 2. A lot of poems in this chapter. Wen Yen Honglia then said, My son, do you know the connection between this song, Wang Hai Chao, Gazing at the Tides, by Liu Yong, and our Jin Kingdom? Yang Kang replied, I don't, father. Please enlighten me. Hearing Yang Kang address Wan Yen Honglia as father so affectionately, Guo Jing and Huang Rong exchanged a look of shock. Guo Jing felt a mixture of anger and heartache, desperately wanting to storm into the room and demand an explanation. You almost forgot about this restaurant destruction date, too? Wait, remind me? Wen Yan Honglia continued, During the reign of Emperor Chenlong of Jin, Emperor Liang read Liu Yong's poem. Captivated by its vivid description of the West Lake's beauty, he sent an envoy south, accompanied by a famous artist, to paint a depiction of Linan's landscapes. This painting included a portrait of Emperor Liang himself atop a horse, standing on the summit of Mount Wu in Linan. On the painting, Emperor Liang inscribed a poem. The carriages and scrolls of 1,000 miles are unified. How can Jiangnan remain independent? With an army of 1,000,000, I shall stand atop the first peak of Mount Wu at West Lake. Yang Kang praised. What magnificent ambition! Guo Jing, filled with rage, clenched his fists so tightly that his knuckles cracked. They got mad about a painting or a poem and trashed the place. Oh yeah, they did. I thought you meant the restaurant destruction date, like a date in the future, not their date. Yeah, they did destroy the restaurant. Did not see that coming. Yeah, just because they hated the poem. Wen Yan Honglia sighed. Hey. Though Emperor Liang's dream of standing atop Mount Wu was never realized, his bold vision of conquering the South is something we, his descendants, must strive to emulate. He once wrote on a fan, Should the great scepter be in hand, a clear breeze shall sweep the world. What unparalleled aspirations. Yang Kang recited, Should the great scepter be in hand, a clear breeze shall sweep the world. His tone was full of admiration. Ouyang Feng chuckled dryly and added, When the prince holds the great scepter in his hand, standing atop Mount Wu will no longer be just a dream. You were so surprised at Guo Jing's violence? Yeah, me too. I didn't think he had it in him. Wen Yan Honglia whispered, Let's hope it's as you say, sir. This place is filled with eyes and ears. For now, let us just drink our wine. The three men then shifted the conversation to discuss scenery, anecdotes, and local customs. Hong Rong leaned toward Guo Jing and whispered. Wait, sorry guys. Give me 1 second. Do, 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 do. Proctologist texting him about that sponsorship. Yeah. Talking to the creamed colon people right now. They're nice guys. Always constipated though. All right. Sorry. As I was saying, the three men then shifted the conversation to discuss scenery, anecdotes, and local customs. Huang Rong leaned toward Guojing and whispered, "They're enjoying their wine so comfortably. I'm going to make sure they don't stay that way." The two quietly slipped out of their private room and headed to the backyard. Huang Rong struck a flint and set fire to the wood stored in the shed, quickly igniting the surrounding area. They are destroying this town. In no time, flames rose high. Hey, flames can spread, okay? We know from LA. This is not cool. In no time, flames rose high, and the shouts of people calling for help rang out. The sound of gongs clanged chaotically. Huang Rong urged, "Let's get to the front. We can't let them slip away unnoticed again." Yeah, did you guys expect that? Guojing declared, "Tonight, I must assassinate that treacherous Wen Yan Hong Lia." Huang Rong replied, "We need to take our master to the palace for a feast first. Tomorrow, we'll have old Mischief keep Ouyang Feng occupied, so we can handle the other two villains." Guojing nodded. "You're right." They pushed their way through the crowd to the front of the restaurant, just in time to see Wan Yan Honglia, Ouyang Feng, and Yang Kang leaving the building. The two followed them from a distance as they weaved through streets and alleys, eventually entering the Guanggai residence, a guest house in the West Market. I like how they just burn this place and then they just don't mention it again. They turn into Joker and his girlfriend. Yeah, true. The pair waited outside the guest house for a long time. When they saw that the three men did not re-emerge, they concluded they must be staying there. Huang Rong said, "Let's head back. Later, we'll bring old Mischief to make trouble for them." With that, they returned to their inn, Jinhua residence. Before they even reached the inn, they could hear Zhou Botong's loud shouting. Guojing, startled, rushed ahead, fearing that his master's condition had worsened. However, he found Zhou Botong squatting on the ground, quarreling with a group of 6 or 7 children. It turned out that Zhou Botong had been gambling with the children, tossing coins, and had lost so badly that he tried to cheat. Cheating against children? Not cool. The children wouldn't let him get away with it, resulting in the commotion. Spotting Huang Rong returning, Zhou Botong quickly turned tail and ran into the inn, fearing a scolding. Huang Rong laughed and took out the masks. Zhou Botong was overjoyed, loudly exclaiming his delight as he donned them, playing as a judge, then as a ghost. Huang Rong asked him to help deal with Ouyang Feng later. Jobotong readily agreed, saying, "Don't worry, I'll fight him with two different fists at once." Hongrong remembered how, back on Peach Blossom Island, Jobotong had bound his hands to prevent accidentally using the 9-yin manual techniques, which led to him being injured by her father. She said, "That old young villain is extremely wicked. Even if you use the 9-yin manual techniques to defeat him, it wouldn't violate your master's dying wish." Jobotong widened his eyes and exclaimed, "That won't do! But don't worry, I've already figured out how to fight without using those techniques." That day, Hong Qigong had been daydreaming about the imperial kitchen. At last, when the second watch of the night arrived, Guojing carried him on his back, and the four of them headed toward the palace. The golden tiled rooftops of the imperial palace gleamed in the moonlight, making it easy to locate. Before long, the group had silently leapt over the palace walls. Inside the palace, armed guards patrolled diligently, but Jobotong, Guojing, and Hongrong were all masters of stealth, making it impossible for the guards to detect them. Hong Qigong, familiar with the layout of the imperial kitchen, gave whispered directions, and in no time they arrived behind Liubu Hill near the imperial kitchen. The kitchen, managed by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, was located east of the Jiaming Hall, where imperial meals were prepared. It neighbored the Qinzheng Hall, the emperor's sleeping quarters. Guards and attendants heavily patrolled the area, but as the emperor had already retired for the night, the kitchen staff had dispersed. When the group reached the kitchen, they saw it brightly lit, though the small eunuchs on duty were all dozing off. Guojing helped Hong Qigong sit on a beam, while Hongrong and Jobotong scoured the pantry for ready-made food. The four of them feasted heartily. Jobotong shook his head and said, "Old beggar, this food isn't even as good as what Wronger cooks. What a waste of effort to come all this way." Hong Qigong replied, "I only came for the Mandarin Duck 5 delicacy, sashimi." What? I thought it was salad before. "If we find the imperial chef tomorrow and have him prepare it, you'll know the difference." Jobotong scoffed. I still don't believe it could compare to Wronger's cooking." His compliments were clearly his way of expressing gratitude for the masks, prompting Hongrong to smile. Hong Qigong said, "I'll wait here for that chef. If you're not interested, you and Jinger can leave the palace now. Wronger can stay with me, and you can return to fetch us tomorrow night." Jobotong, wearing the city god masks, laughed and said, "No, I'll stay with you. Tomorrow I'll wear this thing to scare the emperor. Brother Guo, Wronger, and Wronger, go keep an eye on Old Venom. Don't let him steal UFA's military manual." Hong Qigong agreed. "The old mischief has a point. You two go now, but be careful." Both agreed in unison, and Jobotong added, "Don't fight Old Venom tonight. Leave him for me tomorrow." Sashimi is meat salad. Is it? Hongrong whispered, "We can't beat him, so of course we won't fight." She and Guojing quietly slipped out of the imperial kitchen, intending to head to the Guanggai residence to monitor Wanyan Honglie and his group. As they navigated through the dark palace grounds, they suddenly felt a cool breeze brushing against them, accompanied by the sound of flowing water. In the tranquil night, a faint fragrance wafted through the air, bringing an unexpected sense of nature to the secluded palace gardens. Smelling the floral scent, Hongrong guessed that there must be a large flower bed nearby. Curious about the renowned flora of the imperial palace, she pulled Guojing along to follow the fragrance. As they moved closer, the sound of water grew louder. After rounding a flowery path, they were met with a breathtaking scene. Towering pines and lush bamboo framed cascading green hills and intricate stone formations, creating a serene and picturesque setting. Hongrong silently admired the arrangement, thinking, although not as creatively designed as Peach Blossom Island, the beauty of these flowers and trees is even more striking. Walking a few more steps, they saw a shimmering waterfall pouring from the mountainside into a large pond. Despite the constant influx of water, the pond did not overflow, suggesting it had an outlet at the bottom. The pond was filled with countless red lotuses, and beside it stood a grand and imposing hall. Above the entrance, the plaque read Tuihan Hall, or Emerald Chill Hall. Hongrong approached the hall and found its veranda lined with fragrant flowers: jasmine, Arabian jasmine, musk creeper, hibiscus, osmanthus, red banana, and night-blooming jasmine. Red banana. I must hate that. All in full bloom for the summer. Behind the hall hung garlands of sandalwood, gaharu beads, and ambergris, filling the air with an intoxicating fragrance. Inside, the table was adorned with fresh fruits, lotus roots, melon, loquats, and wax apples, along with several round fans scattered on the chairs. It seemed the emperor had recently been relaxing there before retiring. Oh, they just missed the emperor. Gorging sighed. Hey, the emperor really knows how to enjoy life. Hongrong teased. Why don't you play emperor for a moment? She pulled Guojing to sit on the central cooling bed, offered him some fruit, and knelt with mock deference, saying, Your Majesty, please enjoy the fresh fruits. Guojing laughed, picking up a loquat, and said, You may rise. Hongrong chuckled. Empress wouldn't say please rise. That's too polite. As they quietly joked, a voice suddenly barked in the distance. Who's there? Startled, they leapt up and hid behind a nearby rock garden. Heavy footsteps approached, accompanied by loud shouting. The two quickly discerned that the guards were unskilled in martial arts and didn't feel threatened. Soon, 2 palace guards arrived, each wielding a single blade. The guards looked around but found nothing suspicious. One laughed, You're seeing ghosts. The other laughed in return, I've been seeing things a lot lately. With that, they left. Hongrong stifled a laugh and grabbed Guojing's hand, about to step out. Suddenly, they heard the guards emit 2 low humph sounds. Quiet, but distinct. Hongrong and Guojing recognized the sound of someone having their acupoints struck, and immediately thought, could it be Brother Joe getting restless and playing tricks? A hushed voice then said, According to the palace map, the house by the waterfall is Tuihan Hall. Let's go there. The voice unmistakably belonged to Wen Yan Honglia. They keep running into each other, like 3 times. Odd statement for a guard to make casually. Shocked, Guojing and Hongrong instinctively tightened their grip on each other's hands, remaining motionless as they peered toward the hall under the faint starlight. They spotted several figures. Wen Yan Honglia, Ouyang Feng, Peng Lianhu, Sha Tongqian, Lingzhi Xiangren, Liang Zuwang, and Ho Tonghai all gathered together, the entire team. Both were perplexed. What are they doing in the palace? Surely they didn't come here to just to steal from the imperial kitchen. What if they are? They just love that salad. Wen Yan Honglia lowered his voice and said, After thoroughly examining Yue Fei's confidential writings and cross-referencing the records from the reigns of Gao Zong and Xiao Zong, I am certain that Yue's military manual is hidden 15 steps east of Tuihan Hall. Everyone's gaze followed his pointing finger to a cascading waterfall, with nothing else in sight. Wen Yan Honglia continued, "How the manual could be hidden behind a waterfall is beyond me, but based on the documents, this must be the location." Sha Tongqian, known as the Dragon King of the Gate of Ghosts, and a master swimmer, volunteered. "Let me dive into the waterfall and take a look." Without waiting for a reply, he leapt into the waterfall, disappearing momentarily before emerging again. The group rushed to meet him, and he reported, "Your Highness, you are right. Behind the waterfall is a cave, and at its entrance is an iron door." Wen Yan Honglia beamed with joy. "The military manual must be inside. I'll trouble all of you to open the iron door and retrieve it." The group, equipped with sharp weapons, eagerly moved towards the waterfall, ready to make their contribution. Only Ouyang Feng stayed behind, smirking faintly, as he stood next to Wen Yan Honglia. As a man of higher status, he refrained from joining the others in retrieving the manual. Sha Tongqian, leading the charge, lowered his head and rushed through the torrent of water. Suddenly, a fierce gust of wind struck him in the face. Just moments ago, he had inspected the area and found nothing unusual, so he was caught completely off guard. Hastily attempting to dodge, his left wrist was caught by an unseen assailant. A tremendous force pushed him backward, sending him flying out of the waterfall and colliding with Liangzu Wang. Fortunately, both were highly skilled martial artists and managed to absorb the impact without injury. As the others looked on in shock, Sha Tongqian charged back into the waterfall. This time he was more cautious, shielding his face with his palms. Sure enough, another punch came flying out from behind the cascade. Sha Tongqian blocked it with his left hand and retaliated with a punch of his own, though he still couldn't make out the figure behind the attack. Liangzu Wang leapt in after him, only to be greeted by a swift horizontal sweep of a staff. The attack was so precise and unexpected that he failed to dodge and was struck in the shin, causing him to lose his footing and fall into the waterfall. The force of the water carried him downward, and as his legs were hooked by the staff, he was flung out of the cascade. Who's Wen Yan Honglia? He's was it the 6th prince of Jin? At that moment, Sha Tongqian was also forced out of the waterfall by a powerful palm strike. Three-headed dragon Ho Tonghai, despite witnessing his senior brother's defeat, recklessly believed his superior swimming skills would grant him success. With wide eyes, he charged headfirst into the waterfall. Peng Lianhu, sensing that something was amiss, stepped forward to assist. Suddenly, a dark shadow flew overhead and landed on the ground with a thud. A loud groan followed as Ho Tonghai clutched his rear and cried out in pain. Peng Lianhu rushed to his side and whispered, "Brother Ho, keep your voice down. What happened?" Ho Tonghai cursed. "Damn it! My butt's been split into 4 pieces." Peng Lianhu, both baffled and amused, replied softly, "What nonsense is this?" He briefly examined Ho Tonghai's injury and found no such thing, but refrained from further inspection. He didn't want to inspect his creamed colon. Sensing danger, he hesitated to enter the waterfall. "Who's inside?" he asked. Ho Tonghai, wincing in pain and frustration, snapped, "How the hell should I know? I got hit and thrown out before I could even see their faces. Damn it." Under the faint starlight, Lingzhi Shangren's red robes could be seen fluttering as he strode toward the waterfall. Within moments, the sound of Tibetan curses and intense combat echoed through the cascade. The group exchanged uneasy glances. Both Sha Tongjian and Liang Zuwang had been forced out, but neither had clearly seen the adversaries behind the water curtain. They could only make out that there was a man using palm techniques and a woman wielding a staff. Now, Lingzhi Shangren's loud shouting suggested he too was struggling. Wenyan Honglia frowned and muttered, "This monk has no sense. His shouting will alert the palace guards. How can we steal anything like this?" Before his words had faded, a flash of red appeared as Lingzhi Shangren's large crimson robe was carried by the waterfall into the lotus pond. Moments later, his copper cymbals, used as weapons, clattered out of the cascade. Peng Lianhu quickly caught them to prevent the noise from alarming the guards. Amid the rushing water, Lingzhi Shangren's furious Tibetan curses continued, and then his hefty figure was flung out of the waterfall. Unlike Ho Tonghai, however, he landed steadily on his feet, unharmed but visibly enraged. He growled, "It's the brat and girl we ran into on the ship." It turned out that Guojing and Huangrong, overhearing Wenyan Honglia's plan to steal the Yue Wu Mu manual, had decided they couldn't let such a pivotal artifact fall into enemy hands. If they knew if Wenyan Honglie acquired the manual, the Jin army could use Yue Fei's strategies to invade the south with devastating consequences. Despite being aware of Ouyang Feng's presence and knowing they were no match for him, the pair couldn't stand idly by. Initially, Huang Rong had wanted to devise a strategy to scare off the intruders, but Guo Jing, recognizing the urgency of the situation, took her hand and led her behind the waterfall. There they hid, hoping to launch a surprise attack on Ouyang Feng. The roaring waterfall masked their movements, and none of the intruders noticed them. Drawing on the newfound strength and agility from the Yi Jin Jing techniques, the Yi Jin manuals, the 9 Yin manual, Guo Jing and Huang Rong successfully repelled Sha Tongjian and the others. Huang Rong's staff techniques from the dog-beating stick method were incredibly versatile, leaving her opponents flustered and overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Guo Jing exploited their openings with precise and powerful palm strikes, forcing them all out of the waterfall one by one. Hong Rong and Guo Jing knew that with Sha Tongjian and the others defeated, Ouyang Feng would certainly step in next, and they were no match for him. Hong Rong said urgently, "We need to get out there and start shouting. If the palace guards come in force, they won't be able to act." Guo Jing nodded. "You're right. You go call for help. I'll stay here to hold them off." Hong Rong replied, "Promise me don't go head to head with Ouyang Feng." "I won't. Now go, quickly." All right. Good time for a break. All right, guys. I'll be right back. 5 minutes. All right. We are back. Huang Rong was just about to slip out from behind the waterfall when she heard a sudden thunderous shout. A tremendous force surged into the waterfall, pushing violently inside. Both she and Guo Jing leaped to the sides to dodge, but the cascading water sprayed inward violently, striking the iron door with a deafening crash. Water droplets scattered everywhere, demonstrating the raw power of Ouyang Feng's toad stance. Oh damn. That's what it sounds like. Although Hong Rong had leaped aside in time, the residual force from the attack struck her back. She felt her breath grow labored, her vision blur, and her head spin. Gritting her teeth, she regained her composure and dashed out from behind the waterfall, shouting at the top of her lungs, "Help! Intruders! Intruders!" Her cries immediately alerted the guards stationed around Cuihan Hall, and shouts of orders echoed from all directions. Hong Rong climbed onto a rooftop, grabbing roof tiles and hurling them down chaotically. Peng Lianhu yelled angrily, "Take down that girl first!" He used his agility to pursue her. Liang Zuwang flanked her from the left, closing in quickly. Meanwhile, Wen Yanhonglia remained calm and turned to Yang Kang. Kung-er, go into the cave with Master Ouyang and retrieve the book. By this time, Ouyang Feng had already entered the waterfall. Crouching low, he let out another thunderous shout, "Barak!" channeling his strength to push forward. The twin iron doors at the cave's entrance were blasted inward, crashing to the ground. Damn! That's a powerful shout. Just as he was about to step inside, a figure suddenly lunged toward him. Before the person even arrived, a palm strike was already flying toward him, a bold and daring move, soaring dragon in the sky. Although the dim light obscured the attacker's face, Ouyang Feng immediately recognized the move as Guo Jing's. His mind raced. The principles of the Nine Yin Manual are incredibly profound. I only understand fragments. This is a perfect chance to capture this boy and force him to explain everything to me. With a subtle sidestep, Ouyang Feng evaded the strike and extended his hand to grab Guo Jing's back. Guo Jing was determined to defend the cave entrance no matter what. As long as he could hold him off for a few moments, the palace guards would arrive in overwhelming numbers, and even the greatest martial artist wouldn't be able to escape. He noticed that Ouyang Feng wasn't using killing techniques, but seemed intent on capturing him instead, which puzzled him. Focusing, he deflected with his left hand and countered with the empty cicada style, a technique less forceful than the 18 dragons subduing palms, but far more unpredictable and intricate. Excellent! Ouyang Feng exclaimed, withdrawing his hand to counter. However, he refrained from using his full, ferocious strength. Ouyang Feng had been struggling with the fragmented text of the Nine Yin Manual ever since the deserted island. He practiced what he could understand, but the results were consistently off. Okay. He didn't realize that the text had been deliberately scrambled and nonsensical, mistaking its incoherence for a profound depth. He pressed on, frustrated yet intrigued. Observing Guo Jing's rapid improvement every time they fought, he became increasingly convinced of the manual's unparalleled power. Now, with the upper hand in this encounter, Ouyang Feng intended to study Guo Jing's techniques carefully to further his understanding of the manual. By this time, Tuihan Hall was ablaze with torchlight, and groups of palace guards were swarming the area. Wen Yanhonglia grew increasingly anxious, seeing that Ouyang Feng and Yang Kang were still in the waterfall, and palace guards were gathering rapidly. He realized the situation was dire. Luckily, the guards' attention was focused on the rooftop battle between Huang Rong and Peng Lianhu and Liang Zuwang. They hadn't yet discovered the commotion behind the waterfall, but Wen Yanhonglia knew it wouldn't be long before they did. He stamped his feet in frustration and shouted, "Hurry up! Quickly!" Ling Zhi Shangrun said, "Don't worry, Your Highness. I'll go in again." Shielding his body with his left palm, he dove back into the waterfall. The firelight now illuminated the waterfall, revealing Ouyang Feng and Guo Jing trading moves at the cave entrance. Yang Kang repeatedly tried to slip past their clashing fists and palm strikes, but was thwarted every time by the relentless barrage of techniques. Ling Zhi Shangrun, impatient with Ouyang Feng's deliberate pace, grumbled inwardly. How can he dawdle with such meticulous sparring when the situation is this critical? Furious, he shouted, "Master Ouyang, let me assist you." Ouyang Feng shouted, "Get out of my way!" Ling Zhi Shangrun thought, at a time like this, why is he still playing the hero and putting on airs like some grand master? Lowering his body, he rushed to Guo Jing's left side and struck at his temple with a great hand seal. Ouyang Feng was infuriated. Extending his right hand, he grabbed the back of Ling Zhi Shangren's neck, lifting him effortlessly and hurling him outward once more. This poor guy. Caught again, Ling Zhi Shangren was filled with rage and began hurling curses in Tibetan. But before he could finish a single sentence, water from the waterfall gushed into his open mouth, forcing him to swallow both his words and the water. This time he had been tossed face up, and the torrent drenched him completely. When Yan Honglia saw Ling Zhi Shangren fly out like a rag doll, crashing into the decorative flower pots in front of Tuihan Hall, shattering them to pieces. Realizing the situation was deteriorating, he saw the palace guards arriving in increasing numbers. Lifting the hem of his robe, he hurried into the waterfall. Though he had some martial skills, they were not advanced. The force of the rushing water caused him to slip and fall forward. As soon as he entered, Yang Kang rushed in to support him. When Yan Honglia quickly steadied himself, assessed the surroundings, and called out, "Master Ouyang, can you drive this boy away?" He understood that whether he pleaded or demanded, Ouyang Feng might ignore him, but by phrasing it as a casual challenge, he knew Ouyang Feng would have no choice but to take decisive action. Indeed, Ouyang Feng replied with confidence, "What can't I do?" Crouching low, he let out a thunderous shout, "Rabbit!" and unleashed his toad stance, channeling immense power into his palms as he struck forward. Hold on. Yeah, that's what he did. This strike represented the culmination of Ouyang Feng's lifetime of cultivation. Not even Hong Qigong or Huang Yaoshi could have faced it head on without injury, let alone Guo Jing. Damn, is that powerful? Earlier, Ouyang Feng had deliberately drawn out the fight, forcing Guo Jing to reveal each move of the empty cicada style. He marveled at its intricacies and subtle transformations, convinced it was derived from the Nine Yin manual. He intended to observe and analyze the full sequence. However, Wen Yan Honglia's arrival and pointed remark spurred him to escalate the situation. Leaving no room for moderation. Still, he didn't wish to harm Guo Jing, knowing the youth's value for unlocking the secrets of the manual. He merely aimed to overwhelm him and force him to step aside. They're not as good as my rivets. Yeah, what about this?
But sometimes, more desert rain frog. Squeaking viral sensation.
Apparently that's a frog. Tiny, tiny frog. Alright, what about this one? Oh, damn. That is a mighty ribbit. Yeah, maybe that's what he sounded like. But Guo Jing was resolute, determined to protect the Wu Mu legacy. He knew that if he dodged, the open cave would allow the treasure to fall into the enemy hands. Even with the palace guards outside, they were no match for someone like Ouyang Feng. As the overwhelming strike approached, Guo Jing knew he couldn't withstand it directly, nor evade it. Gritting his teeth, he leaped 4 feet into the air, dodging the attack, and landed squarely in front of the cave entrance again. A deafening boom resounded behind him as Ouyang Feng's strike crashed into the stone wall of the cave, sending dirt and debris scattering everywhere. Ouyang Feng exclaimed, "Good!" and instantly followed up with a second strike, this one even faster and fiercer, seamlessly continuing the momentum of his first. Guo Jing felt the overwhelming force bearing down on him, and he knew he was in grave danger. With no other choice, he countered with the powerful, shaking the 100 miles, a move from the 18 dragon subduing palms. Known for its immense strength, he extended both palms forward, meeting Ouyang Feng's force head on. For a moment, the two forces collided and reached an equilibrium. Neither Ouyang Feng nor Guo Jing moved, like two statues locked in place, their energy in perfect opposition. The sudden stillness contrasted sharply with the ferocity of their earlier movements, and Wenyan Honglia, observing from the side, couldn't help but marvel. What is happening? As time passed, Guo Jing's body began to tremble, drenched in sweat. Ouyang Feng, sensing Guo Jing's waning strength, considered letting up slightly to avoid seriously injuring him. However, just as he eased his force, he felt a sudden surge of energy from Guo Jing. The unexpected counter nearly caught Ouyang Feng off guard, forcing him to stabilize himself with his profound cultivation. This surprise left Ouyang Feng deeply impressed. How could someone so young possess such formidable internal strength? Deciding to escalate, he inhaled deeply and pushed back with renewed vigor. He knew that with another surge of power, he could easily topple Guo Jing. But Guo Jing's mastery of the manual's techniques was crucial to him, and he couldn't afford to kill the boy. Thus, Ouyang Feng resolved to prolong the standoff, waiting for Guo Jing to exhaust himself before capturing him effortlessly. Before long, the flow of internal strength between Guo Jing and Ouyang Feng began to show a shift, with Guo Jing's power waning. Yet, to Wenyan Honglia and Yang Kang, who stood anxiously by, the standoff seemed to stretch endlessly. In truth, only a brief moment had passed. However, the intensifying firelight and rising commotion outside the waterfall made it feel as though an eternity had gone by. Suddenly, the sound of rushing footsteps approached, and two palace guards burst through the waterfall. Yang Kang sprang forward with lethal precision, thrusting his fingers into the guards' skulls using the 9 yin white bone claw, killing them instantly. Oh, he's an expert at that now. The metallic scent of blood filled the air, fueling his bloodlust. Drawing a dagger from his boot, he leaped toward Guo Jing, aiming directly for his waist. You fucker. Guo Jing, fully focused on resisting Ouyang Feng's overwhelming strength, had no way to dodge the incoming strike. He understood that any slight movement would disrupt his balance, leaving him vulnerable to Ouyang Feng's toad stance, which would surely kill him. Even as he felt the dagger pierce his side, he gritted his teeth and refused to yield. In desperation, he clenched his fist and struck downward, landing a powerful blow on Yang Kang's wrist. Damn. The difference in their strength was now vast, and Guo Jing's punch left Yang Kang's wrist throbbing with pain. Staggering back, Yang Kang was forced to release the dagger, but not before the blade had buried itself halfway into Guo Jing's side. At that moment, the force of Ouyang Feng's attack also struck Guo Jing's chest. Unable to utter a sound, he collapsed forward. Ouyang Feng saw that Guo Jing was gravely injured and shook his head in frustration. What a pity, what a pity, he muttered, deeply dissatisfied. Though he had wanted to capture Guo Jing alive, it seemed the young man was beyond saving. He turned his focus on to the mission at hand, glaring at Yang Kang. You fool, ruining my plans. With that thought, he stepped into the cave, followed closely by Wanyan Honglie and Yang Kang. Meanwhile, palace guards poured into the area, but Ouyang Feng, without even turning around, simply grabbed and flung them out one by one. Each guard who attempted to enter the cave was met with swift and unrelenting force, rendering them incapacitated. Inside the cave, Yang Kang lit a fire starter to illuminate the surroundings. The cave floor was covered in a thick layer of dust, evidence that no one had entered for a long time. In the center of the space stood a solitary stone table, upon which rested a square stone box about 2 feet wide. The box was sealed with strips of paper. Apart from this, the cave was empty. Yang Kang brought the fire closer to the box to inspect it. The writing on the seal was too faded to read. Wanyan Honglie exclaimed, The book must be inside this box. Overjoyed, Yang Kang reached out to lift it, but before he could touch it, Ouyang Feng lightly pressed his shoulder with one hand, sending Yang Kang stumbling back several steps. Startled and annoyed, Yang Kang could only watch as Ouyang Feng secured the box under his arm. Wanyan Honglie called out, Mission accomplished! Retreat! With Ouyang Feng leading the way, the three exited the cave. As they passed the entrance, Yang Kang glanced down and saw Guo Jing lying motionless, covered in blood, alongside the bodies of several guards. A pang of guilt flickered in his heart, but he quickly pushed it aside. In a low voice, he muttered, You brought this on yourself, meddling in matters that don't concern you. Don't blame me for not honoring our sworn brotherhood. He noticed his dagger still lodged in Guo Jing's side and bent down to retrieve it. At that moment, a figure darted through the waterfall, shouting, Brother Jing, where are you? Recognizing Hong Rong's voice, Yang Kang panicked. Forgetting the dagger, he leaped over Guo Jing's body and fled through the waterfall, hurrying to catch up with Ouyang Feng and Wanyan Honglie. Hong Rong had been engaged in a game of cat and mouse with Peng Lianhu and Liangzu Wang on the rooftops. As the number of palace guards swelled and the shouts grew louder, Peng and Liang, wary of their precarious situation, retreated to the waterfall to await Wanyan Honglie. Shortly after, they saw Ouyang Feng emerge with the stone box. Hong Rong, worried about Guo Jing, rushed into the cave and called out several times, but there was no response. Panicking, she lit a fire starter, and its flickering light revealed Guo Jing lying at her feet, drenched in blood. The sight struck her like a thunderbolt, leaving her momentarily paralyzed. Her hand trembled, and the fire starter fell to the ground, extinguishing itself. Outside, the palace guards continued to shout for reinforcements, their cries echoing through the area. Though no one dared approach the cave after witnessing Ouyang Feng's devastating power, their duty demanded that they at least create the illusion of effort by making as much noise as possible. Good plan. Hong Rong bent down and cradled Guo Jing, feeling some relief when she found warmth in his hand. She called to him a few times, but he didn't respond. Hoisting him onto her back, she slipped quietly out from behind the waterfall and hid behind a rock garden. By this time, the area around the Cuihan Hall was ablaze with light, as lanterns and torches illuminated the scene like daylight. Guards from various palace posts, having received the alarm, were rushing to the location. Though Hongrong moved quickly, the sheer number of eyes made it difficult to escape unnoticed. Soon, a group of guards spotted her and gave chase, shouting loudly as they pursued. She cursed under her breath. You useless fools, chasing me instead of the real villains. Gritting her teeth, she sprinted away with all her might. When a few guards with higher martial skills began closing in, she released a handful of golden needles. Behind her, cries of pain echoed as several guards fell, stopping the rest in their tracks. No one dared to come closer, helplessly watching her leap over the palace wall and vanish into the night. The commotion threw the entire palace into chaos. In the darkness, no one could tell if this was a coup by rival royals or a rebellion by disloyal ministers. The palace guards, imperial bodyguards, and forbidden army scrambled in disarray, unsure of the situation's origin. The turmoil continued until dawn, prompting a massive citywide search. Though many rebels and assassins were captured, they turned out to be petty thieves and vagabonds. The officials, desperate to show loyalty and competence, fabricated evidence and executed a batch, thus securing their positions, I say. After fleeing the palace, Hongrong ran aimlessly in panic, carrying Guojing on her back. Only after ensuring no one was following did she slow her pace and duck into a secluded alley. Reaching out to check Guojing's breathing, she was relieved to find it faint but steady. However, having lost her fire starter in the palace, she couldn't examine his injuries in the dark. Knowing they wouldn't be safe wandering the city by day with Guojing's bloodied state, she decided to leave the city immediately. She climbed the city walls under the cover of night and made her way to Sha Gu's inn. Despite her martial skills, Hongrong was utterly exhausted after running half the night with Guojing on her back. Her mind raced with worry, and her limbs felt like lead as she pushed open the door to the inn. She collapsed into a chair, gasping for breath and feeling on the verge of collapse. Yet she forced herself to stand and light a pine torch. Holding it up to Guojing's face, she was horrified by what she saw. His eyes were tightly shut, his face as pale as paper, and his condition appeared critical. Though Hongrong had seen him injured before, none of those occasions were as dire as this. Her heart pounded, as if it would leap out of her chest. She stood frozen with the torch in her hand, unable to think, when suddenly a hand reached out and took the torch from her. Startled, she turned slowly to see Sha Gu standing beside her. Taking a deep breath to steady herself, Hongrong felt slightly braver with someone else present. She was about to inspect Guojing's injuries when the firelight revealed a dark object protruding from his waist. It was the ebony hilt of a dagger. Looking closer, she saw the blade lodged firmly in his left side, its edge buried several inches deep in his flesh. Hongrong's panic reached its peak, but this extreme fear oddly calmed her nerves. She gently tore open the fabric around the wound, revealing skin stained with dried blood clinging to the dagger's edges. She thought, if I pull it out, he might die on the spot, but if I leave it in too long, his chances will worsen. Clenching her teeth, she reached for the dagger's hilt. Yet, just as she mustered the courage to pull, fear overwhelmed her, and her hand drew back. This happened several times, her hesitation consuming precious moments. Sha Gu, watching impatiently, suddenly grabbed the hilt without warning and yanked the dagger out with a strong pull. Both Guojing and Hongrong cried out simultaneously. "Rah! Ah!" Sha Gu, however, found the act amusing and burst into laughter as if she had done something playful. Blood spurted from Guojing's wound like a fountain. Horrified, Hongrong saw Shagu still giggling in a daze. Furious and desperate, she struck Shagu with a backhanded slap, sending her tumbling to the ground. Without delay, she pressed her handkerchief firmly against the gushing wound, trying to stem the bleeding. Shagu fell to the ground when struck, extinguishing the pine torch. Darkness engulfed the room. Furious, Shagu sprang up and kicked wildly. Her foot landed squarely on Hongrong's leg, but Hongrong didn't dodge or retaliate. Afraid Hongrong might hit her back, Shagu darted away. After a moment, however, she heard Hongrong softly sobbing. Curious, Shagu lit another pine torch and asked, "Did I hurt you?" The sharp pain of the dagger being pulled out had jolted Guojing from his unconsciousness. In the torchlight, he saw Hongrong kneeling beside him and weakly asked, "Did the traitors steal Yue Fei's book?" Hearing his voice, Hongrong was overjoyed. His concern for such an important matter, even while gravely injured, moved her deeply. Not wanting to upset him further, she quickly replied, "Don't worry, those villains won't get their hands on it." She wanted to ask about his injuries, but was distracted by the warmth of fresh blood covering her hands. Guojing softly said, "Why are you crying?" Hongrong forced a faint smile and said, "I'm not crying." Shagu abruptly interjected, "She is crying. Look, there are still tears on her face." Guoqing said, "Runger, don't worry. The 9-yin manual describes a method for healing injuries. I won't die." At this, Hongrong felt a sudden surge of hope, as if a lamp had been lit in the darkness. Her sparkling eyes filled with joy, though she dared not press him for details to avoid exhausting him. Instead, she turned to Shagu, grabbed her hand, and asked gently, "Sister, did I hurt you earlier?" Shagu was still fixated on whether or not Hongrong had cried, and replied, "I saw you crying. You can't deny it." Hongrong smiled and said, "All right, I cried. You didn't cry, so you're amazing." Hearing this praise, Shagu beamed with delight. Guojing began to regulate his breathing, enduring excruciating pain. Now that Hongrong's mind had steadied, she took out a golden needle and carefully pricked several acupuncture points around the wound on his left side. This helped slow the bleeding and reduce the pain. Oh. You could have done that before. She cleaned the wound, applied medicinal powder, and bandaged it tightly. She then gave him a few 9 flowers jade dew pills to ease his suffering. Guojing said, "This stab wound is deep, but it didn't hit any vital organs. I'll be all right. The worst part is being struck by the old venomous one's toad stance. Thankfully, he didn't seem to use full force, so I might still be saved. But it'll take 7 days and 7 nights of your hard work." Hongrong sighed and said, "Even if I had to toil for 70 years to help you, I'd gladly do it, and you know that." Guojing felt a warmth in his heart. That was his blood leaking out. But the next moment, a wave of dizziness overwhelmed him. After a brief pause, he regained some composure and said, "I only regret not being able to treat my master's injuries sooner after we reunited. If I hadn't delayed by several days, even though the snake venom was severe, it wouldn't have reached this hopeless stage." Hongrong consoled him. "Even back on that island, even if you could have treated Shifu's wounds, would that old venomous monster and his nephew have allowed it? Don't dwell on the past. Focus on explaining how to treat yourself so we can both rest easy." Guojing said, We'll need a quiet place. According to the method in the manual, we must sit and cultivate our internal energy together. We'll press one palm against each other's. With your strength helping mine, we can heal my injuries. But here's the challenge. Over 7 days and 7 nights, our palms cannot separate, not even for an instant. Our breathing and energy must remain in harmony. Though we may talk, we must not speak to a third person or take a single step. If someone interrupts us, that would... Okay. So for 7 days, they have to keep their palms together and they can't talk to another person. This is like a kissing contest? Unfortunately, it's not. Hongrong knew that this method of healing was similar to the practice of meditative cultivation in martial arts. Before the process was completed, even the slightest external disturbance or internal distraction could lead to disastrous consequences. A loss of focus could cause one to lose control of their energy, resulting in minor injuries or, in extreme cases, death. That's why martial artists usually cultivated their internal energy in remote, desolate locations, isolated from others, or in a closed retreat, often with a highly skilled ally standing guard. Ah. I'm sure this will be very easy with Shagu around. Uh-oh. She thought to herself, finding a tranquil place is difficult right now. This treatment requires my assistance, and relying on Shagu to fend off disturbances is entirely out of the question. She would only cause more trouble. Even if Brother Joe returns, it's unlikely he could remain calm enough to guard us for 7 days and nights. He'd likely cause more harm than good. What should I do? She pondered for a long time, and suddenly glanced at the cupboard where the secret room was hidden. A thought struck her. That's it! We can hide in the secret room to heal. Didn't Mei Chao Feng also isolate herself in a cave when she practiced martial arts without anyone to guard her? By now, dawn had broken. Shagu went to the kitchen to cook porridge for the two of them. Hongrong said to Guojing, rest for a bit while I fetch some food. We'll start soon. Considering the hot weather, she realized that prepared food would spoil over 7 days. Instead, she went to the village and bought a load of watermelons. Cool. The villager selling watermelons carried the load into the inn and stacked it on the ground. As he left, he said, these watermelons from Neojia village are sweet and crisp. You'll know once you taste them. When Hongrong heard Neojia village, her heart skipped a beat. So, this is Neojia village, Jingugu's hometown. Oh. She was worried that mentioning this might stir painful memories for Guo Jing. After politely dismissing the villager, she went into the inner hall to check on him. Seeing that Guo Jing was in a deep sleep, and that no fresh blood was seeping from the bandages on his waist, she felt relieved. She opened the cupboard, rotated the iron bowl to reveal the secret door, and began moving the watermelons inside one by one. She left the last one for Shagu, instructing her sternly not to tell anyone that they were hiding inside, no matter what happened. She emphasized that, under no circumstances, was she to call out to them or reveal their location. Although Shagu didn't fully understand the reasoning, she saw Hongrong's serious demeanor and nodded. You two are hiding inside to eat watermelons without anyone knowing. Once you've finished, you'll come out. Shagu won't tell, she said. Hongrong smiled. Exactly. Shagu won't tell, so Shagu is a good girl. If Shagu tells, she'll be a bad girl. Shagu, pleased with the praise, repeatedly said, Shagu won't tell. Shagu is a good girl. Hongrong fed Guojing. Excuse me. Hongrong fed Guojing a large bowl of porridge and ate one herself. Then she helped him into the secret room. As she closed the cupboard door from the inside, she saw Shagu standing outside, smiling innocently and saying, Shagu won't tell? A sudden thought crossed Hongrong's mind. This girl is so simple-minded. What if she tells everyone she meets they're hiding in the cupboard eating watermelons, but Shagu won't tell? The only way to ensure Jingugu's safety is to eliminate her. No. Having grown up under her father's unconventional teachings, Hongrong had never held conventional notions of morality or ethics. She knew that Shagu was deeply connected to Chu Feng, but if this girl's actions jeopardized Guojing's life, even 10 Shagus would have to die. Resolute, she picked up the dagger she had taken from Guojing's waist and prepared to leave the cupboard to act. Go ho ho ho. All right. How was that? That was a good ending. I'm sure she won't kill the girl. Psyduck. No, you didn't mean it. Yeah. These people don't think much of killing other people, do they? Like, this girl has to die. All right. How did you guys like the chapter? All right. Get some drink here. All right. Cheers. Lots of ribbits. Yeah. You guys like ribbits? This one toad here has an awesome ribbit. Hold on. This one has a mighty, mighty ribbit. Mighty, mighty call here. Yeah. Here we go. This is what he was doing. Oh, Yongfeng. He mad. We do a loud toad ribbit. A bit. What's this?
Take it out.
Yep, go ahead, take it out. Bye.
Yeah, I don't think it was like that. What about all this? Sound more like it. I like that. Yeah, I think that's his call, guys. It's like a warning klaxon. All right. All right, cool chapter. Oh no. The enemies, they have the manual. Or do they? What is in there? We don't know what's in that box, right? Yeah. No, maybe it is a manual. Or maybe not. We shall see. Freaking Yang Kang. Not a good dude. I'm starting to hate them, guys. Starting to hate Yang Kang. Yeah, and after he stabbed them, he even said that, oh, this is your fault. It's not my fault. Okay, don't blame me. What a despicable guy. Only now? Yeah, you know, I liked him before. He was my favorite character, but now, not anymore. All right. All right, what happens next? Okay, tune in next time to see whether or not this Shagu girl dies. Is Huang Rong going to go through with it? All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye. You'll be worried all week now. All right, bye.